Apple's virtual 2020 Worldwide Developers Conference brought previews of the latest updates to iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, tvOS, and macOS. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for full coverage of the best announcements from WWDC, including the topic of this video, macOS, and the upcoming monumental transition coming to Mac. macOS is getting a major update this year, and finally leveling up to 11, with macOS Big Sur. macOS Big Sur will be Apple's first release of version 11 of macOS. Built on an entirely new layered design language that utilizes familiar interfaces, with fresh overlays, and subtle functions that stand out only when needed. This new design language extends across the entire system, encompassing both new and existing features, from the dock to the new control center, the return of widgets, and throughout all native apps, each with their own key updates and new features. Drop-down controls look clean and intuitive, with quick access to functions and settings. And widgets are making their return alongside iOS 14, but with more customization and organization options. Messages will be picking up some features as well from iOS, including Memoji, along with rich animations and inline group text replies. Maps will provide more information with city guides, indoor layouts where available, and look around, with the ability to receive ETA from friends and track their route in real time. Safari will be getting a customizable start page with wallpapers, along with dedicated extensions available from the App Store, and a privacy report feature to keep tabs on your extensions with permissions and privacy reports to better track access. All other native apps will also see updates, with fresh new icons to match. macOS Big Sur brings with it a host of design changes and feature improvements, making it the biggest update since OS X, which are big shoes to fill. But that's not all that Apple has in store for Mac this year. They are positioned to usher in a new era of Mac computing, as big as the adoption of PowerPC, the aforementioned OS X, or the switch to Intel processors nearly 15 years ago. Apple is finally bringing their own custom silicon to Mac. Deep in what is described as an unknown location on Apple campus, Apple's engineers have been hard at work on a transition only made possible by the many years of learning and iteration that has gone into the custom SoCs, or system on a chip, currently in the iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. And now the Mac will be able to harness the power in Apple's custom-designed silicon processors. The iPhone started this journey back in 2010 with its increased demand for power efficiency and speed, leading us to today with the A13 Bionic processor, encompassing an overall 100 times improvement in CPU performance. This paved the way for the iPad to start out strong that same year, and remained dominant ever since, providing an insane boost of 1,000 times in GPU performance from the first generation to today. Performance and power are the key attributes to producing the most efficient processors, with the ultimate goal to satisfy higher performance at low power consumption. Apple Silicon promises to deliver on this goal, with custom components working together with software that will allow it to prioritize specific tasks to deliver better performance, efficiency, and consistency, without putting too much strain on the hardware. This will give Apple more freedom in designing the Mac hardware as well, with more efficient space requirements, likely leading to the most thin and compact designs yet. This is something that already benefits the iPad, in a portable package that requires 0 fans to accommodate its powerhouse internals, while delivering stellar speed and performance. Apple has several form factors to work with across their lineup, for which they can design a family of SoCs to best meet the needs for each class and category of Mac, all built on a common architecture. Of course, Apple is making sure that apps can be swiftly adapted to work across both Intel and Apple's processors. With tools for developers to help them make the most of the transition. Apple will be making a developer kit available containing the A12Z Bionic processor, and even have plans to release their first consumer model with Apple Silicon by the end of this year, preparing for the entire lineup to transition over the next 2 years. It's certainly an exciting time for Apple, positioning Mac to become a device built holistically around Apple hardware and software, just as they've always wanted. Let me know your thoughts down below on the new macOS Big Sur and Apple's transition from Intel to Apple Silicon for Mac. While you're there, feel free to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to stay tuned for coverage on WWDC 2020 and more coming soon to this channel. Until next time, I'm SeanXTech.